China is criticizing a new trade initiative between the United States and Taiwan. The U.S. has stepped up engagement with the democratically governed island, but Beijing is not happy about it. Now, new trade talks are bringing the issue to center stage once again.
China is angry, and at a news briefing on Thursday, the Chinese foreign minister did not mince words. The insistence of the United States on playing the Taiwan card will only bring Sino-U.S. relations to a dangerous place. The United States should abide by the One China principle and the provisions of the 3 Sino-U.S. joint communiques, stop any form of official exchanges between the United States and Taiwan, stop signing agreements of a sovereign connotation and official nature with Taiwanese merchants, and refrain from sending any wrong signals to the separatist forces of Taiwan independence. These strong statements follow the announcement on Wednesday of the U.S.-Taiwan Initiative on 21st Century Trade, which aims to deepen economic and trade relations between the two countries, a point that was underscored by Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth during a joint press conference held with Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen.
I do want to say that it is more than just about military, it's also about the economy, and I'm here to support the President Biden's efforts in engaging in economic relationships and closer relationships between our two nations on an economic front as well as on national security.
The deal came just days after the Biden administration excluded Taiwan from a broader Asia-focused economic plan designed to counter Beijing's influence in the region. Taiwan has informal but extensive ties with the U.S. It is the U.S.'s 9th largest trading partner and an important hub for making computer chips and other high-end tech components. Both China and Taiwan agree there is value in trading with the U.S. Yet China says Taiwan has no right to conduct foreign relations. On this, Taiwan does not agree.
Well, for more, let's go to Jens Korte in New York for the U.S. market's reaction. Now, Jens, the U.S. closed a trade deal with major partners in Asia just last week. Taiwan was excluded from that deal. Why was that?
Yeah, well, Christy, the Biden administration just last week, as you mentioned, launched the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework with 13 countries. And what we hear is that some of those Asian partners had concerns to actually anger China if they include Taiwan. So now it looks like the Biden administration might be looking for a bilateral agreement with Taiwan. I don't know who comes up with those names. So U.S.-Taiwan Initiative on 21st Century Trade. So that's what it's called, and that will be negotiated in the next couple of weeks and maybe months. So we are not talking about a free trade deal, but some bilateral agreement between the United States and Taiwan.
Yeah, that's a bit of a tongue twister, that's for sure. Well, let's switch to tech for a second here, Jens. Sheryl Sandberg, the #2 at Meta, formerly Facebook, of course, has announced she's stepping down. What can you tell us about Javier Olivan, her replacement?
Yeah, definitely. He is quite opposite to Sheryl Sandberg, who also, by the way, was considered as being the adult in the room when she basically led Facebook together with Mark Zuckerberg. If you look at Sheryl Sandberg, she was a very public figure. She has about 1 million Instagram followers. Javier Olivan, I've read, has about 17 Instagram followers, and the last time he posted on Facebook actually was 4 years ago. So he is a rather private person. He's from Spain. He used to work for Siemens for a little while in Munich, and then he started with Facebook 15 years ago. He was partly in charge of developing the international business with quite some success. When he started 15 years ago, Facebook had about 50 million users, mostly in the United States. Today we are talking about almost 2 billion users, and 90% of those are actually coming from outside the US.
All right. Well, obviously very big shoes to fill there. We know that there were some mixed labor figures out of the U.S. today. Jens, what can you tell us about those?
Yeah, I mean, we had the weekly unemployment claims, and they dropped to the lowest in about 50 years. I saw somewhere maybe even the lowest figures since we get those numbers. On the other side, we had 128,000 new jobs in the private sector for the month of May. And that was quite a disappointment because economists actually expected in the private sector that the U.S. would have added almost 300,000 new jobs. So a mixed picture from the labor market, and now the big job report, also including the governmental jobs, will be released Friday, 1 hour before trading starts here on Wall Street. And talking about trading, it has been quite a comeback here on Wall Street. The Nasdaq Composite up by almost 3%, blue chips up a good 400 points, even if we had a pretty mixed bag of economic numbers and also corporate numbers here at the New York Stock Exchange.
Well, we'll be checking in with you on that tomorrow, of course. Jens Korte, thank you so much.